Hi everybody and welcome back. In this video we're going to look at something a bit more interesting called conditional statements. Now conditional statements are used to control what code is run in a script or make decisions. So I've increased my version and removed my other scripts out of our project here, and if we come over to Server Script Service and create a script, and we'll call this our conditional statement script. Alright, inside of here, now conditional statements are used to, as I said, control or test certain conditions and make decisions about whether code should run. And we can use variables to test these conditions or test those variables. So we'll start off with creating a variable and is it raining? Alright, and we'll set it to true. So we have a Boolean variable here. Now as I said, conditional statements, when we write one, are going to test whether a condition is true, and the way we write one is to type the word if. So it's going to say if whatever comes next is true, then we will run the code. So if is it raining, alright, then and end, alright. So if this is true, it's going to run the code inside of this condition. So we can say print it is raining. Alright, and then if we run that code, you'll see it is raining. So the condition was true, so the code ran. Now if we change this up the top here so that it's false, alright, and run, you'll see nothing happens, alright, because that code, this condition here was not true, so it skipped this code and then just went on where there was nothing else to do. Now you can write this out in longhand if you like, and the way we test if something is equal is to put two equal signs, because remember, one equal sign assigns a value, two equal signs tests whether this is true or not. Now if I put in here true, this is not going to run. However, we can also test if something is false. So if I put in here now false, alright, if it is raining equals false, this is going to equate to true. So it is raining, so we could say it is not raining. And if we run the code, you'll see that that evaluated to true, even though we put false in there. So you can use the equal sign. Now, as I said before, if you're using a Boolean, it will be either true or false. So if you just write the name of the variable, it's going to look at it and say, well, it's looking for true. So as it's set up the top here, this will not run. Alright, so if I run the code, nothing happens. The shortened way to check the opposite of this is to add the keyword in front of the variable. If not is raining, then print it is not raining. Okay, so this is testing whether something is now false. So let's run it, and we get it is not raining. Alright, so I know that can be a little bit confusing sometimes, but we can add the other conditional statement up here. So if is raining, is it raining, then print it is raining. Alright, so we've got two statements. One's testing whether it is raining, and one is not. It's raining or it's not raining. Now we can shorten this. So we want to know either way whether it is raining or it is not raining. So instead of having two conditions like this, what we can do is we can use another keyword inside of the statement, which is an else. Alright, so if this is not true, then it will run this code. If it is true, it'll run this code and skip this code down the bottom. So we can move this line in here and get rid of this statement. And now we have a response or a decision being made based on the statement that's here. So let's say we run. So at the moment it is raining. And then if I change this to false and run, now we see it is not raining. Alright, so it's a very simple example of controlling the script, or which parts of code are running. Alright, now you don't have to test just one condition. So let's add another variable here, have umbrella. Alright, so true. And we'll say it is raining. So now we want to test if the condition, if it is raining, and we want to know if there's an umbrella. So we can use the keyword and have umbrella. So in this case, when you use and, alright, both of these must be true in order for this to run in here. Okay, so both, it will test both of them, and they both have to be true in order for it to run. So if we click on this, it is raining. Alright, and you say, and I have an umbrella. So now if I was to change one of these, so it's still raining, but now if I change this to false, it's not raining, but it is raining, but it didn't work, okay? Because, as I said, both of these have to be true in order for this to run, okay? Now, you can have a list down here to check the various conditions and give appropriate feedback based on what these are. So, if it is raining and you have an umbrella, say, it is raining and I have an umbrella. Okay, and you could say I can go out. Now if we want to have more conditions to test, instead of just having else, we can say else if and test another condition. So if is it raining and not have an umbrella, alright, then, and in this case we might say something like it is raining, but I don't have an umbrella. I'll stay home. Alright, so we want to have yes, it's raining, and now it's false. So this message here should run. So let's give that a test. It is raining, but I don't have an umbrella. I'll stay home. All right, and we'll add one more in here. So let's just drop down a line, and we'll say else if not is it raining and not have an umbrella, then we could say something like it's not raining, I don't need my umbrella. So it's testing whether both of these are false. So let's say false. Right, and we can run. And we get the message pop up down the bottom. Alright, so that's how to use and. Now, you can also use another keyword if we come up at the top here. And we'll create another conditional statement. So if is it raining, or alright, have umbrella, then. Now, when you use the or keyword, either one of these can be true. Now, it will run them from left to right. So if it gets to here and says false, then it will go to this one to check whether it is true and then run the code. If this one is true, it will simply run the code and ignore this. So if either one is true, the code in here will run. So we could print in here something like, maybe it will rain. I'll say, I'll take my umbrella. Right, so if either of these is true, so let's just check that. If we just say, I have an umbrella, all right, but this one will be false. So let's run our code. And you'll see, maybe it will rain, I'll take my umbrella. All right, and if we were to swap those over, let's run that. And maybe it'll rain, I'll take my umbrella. And then we had the one down below that we'd covered. It is raining, but I don't have an umbrella, I'll stay home. All right, so a bit contradictory there, but that's how that works. All right, the last part we'll cover just for basic conditional statements is we'll create two new variables, my age, right, and we'll make my age 25, that's a lie, and we'll give a movie rating, so rated M, say 15, all right? So now we can use to see if things are equal. So we can say if my age equals, all right, rated M, then. So if these are exactly the same, these values, then the code inside of here will run. So we could say, I am only just old enough to see the movie. And we'll create a couple of else ifs. Else if my age, and now we'll say if my age is greater than, all right, rated M, all right, and we can use one of the other variables up the top, and not is it raining, then. So it's going to say, am I old enough to see the movie? And if it's not raining, then we can run this code in here. So we can say print, no problems, I can see the movie. And we'll add another one, so else if, and this time we'll say my age, if I am less than rated M, right, then we'll say print, I am too young to see the movie. And lastly, we'll just add an else statement to say, well, actually we'll make it an else if is it raining, then we can just say print, I'll just stay home. Right, so we've written a number of conditions here, so you can look at this and try to work out which statement is going to print out. All right, if we have a look, my age, I'm old enough, so it's not going to be this one. My age is greater, and is it raining? It's not going to be this one because it's raining up the top here. My age is greater than rated M, that's true. So, sorry, less than, so that's not right. So it should run this one. Let's give it a go. Right, and we had the others down below, but I'll just stay home. Okay, and if we were to change this so these were equal, then it should run the first one. I'm only just old enough to see the movie. All right, so you can see that our conditional statements are working the way that they are intended to, and they are extremely useful in our coding to make decisions and decide which code we are going to run. All right, so hopefully you got the general idea of how they're put together with the if and the conditional statement and the else's. So we will move on to the next lesson, which we're going to look at loops, or making code run more than once automatically. So I shall see you in that lesson.